All right, how's it going, guys? So today I'm gonna be ranking every single NBA team starting point guard, starting with number 30 for the Golden State Warriors, Jordan Poole. After Steph Curry got injured early in the season, the Warriors were first forced to turn to their rookie point guard to take over for the starting role. The Warriors currently have had the worst record in the league, and Jordan Poole hasn't been doing them any favors. At number 29, I have the Cleveland Cavaliers with Matthew Dellavedova. After LeBron James left Cleveland, the entire Cavs team has gone downhill. Matthew Dellavedova is no exception. He's been having quite possibly the worst season of his career, averaging 3.1 points per game, 3.2 assists per game, and shooting 35% from the field and 23% from the three-point line. Number 28, I have the Washington Wizards with Shabazz Napier. After getting traded to the Wizards from the Timberwolves, he's been averaging 12 points, 4.4 assists, and 1.7 steals per game. However, he's been completely outshone by Bradley Beal at the two-guard position. At number 27, I have the Chicago Bulls with Tomas Satoransky. Not only has Satoransky been starting over 19-year-old Kobe White, but he's also been playing more minutes while averaging worse stats, which could be a big reason as to why the young Bulls team has been struggling this season. At number 26, I had the San Antonio Spurs with DeJounte Murray. It's no secret that the Spurs have been struggling this season, but DeJounte Murray hasn't been helping at all, only averaging 10 points per game and even getting outpassed by small forward DeMar DeRozan. And I don't have to remind you that passing is the most important part of a point guard's game. At number 25, I have the Miami Heat with Kendrick Nunn. In his first season in the league, after spending a year in the G League, Kendrick Nunn has started all 62 games that he's played and been averaging 15.6 points per game, shooting high field goal percentage and three-point percentage, but only averaging 3.4 assists. At number 24, I have the Utah Jazz with Mike Conley. For quite a while, Mike Conley was regarded as one of the best point guards in the league when he was on the Grizzlies. But in his first season on the Jazz, he's had a massive decline, averaging over 8 points less than last season, while also seeing a slight decrease in passing and defense. At number 23, I have the Orlando Magic with Markelle Fultz. After having a rough first two seasons in the league due to injury, Fultz has once again become a promising player, averaging 12 points, 1.3 steals, and 5.3 assists. If he can develop a consistent three-point shot, then he can become one of the more promising up-and-coming players in the league. At number 22, I have the New York Knicks with Elfrid Payton. Throughout his 6-year career, Elfrid Payton has bounced around from team to team, but this year he's been a pretty underrated player. He's a pretty decent scorer, averaging 10 points per game on a high field goal percentage, but not only that, he's been one of the better passers and defenders in the league, averaging 7.2 assists and 1.6 steals per game. At number 21, I have the New Orleans Pelicans with Lonzo Ball. After being involved in that huge trade package for Anthony Davis, Lonzo Ball became part of the most promising team in the league. And although Lonzo himself hasn't been the best player on the team, he's been very solid throughout the season, averaging 12.4 points, 1.4 steals, and 7 assists per game. At number 20, I have the Los Angeles Lakers with Rajon Rondo. Rondo's been a fundamental key in the first seed Lakers' success, being a good passer and defender, and when the Lakers need it, he can also score with efficiency as well. At number 19, I have the Los Angeles Clippers with Patrick Beverley. Since Lewis prefers to make his impact off the bench, Patrick Beverley starts in his place. He puts up a solid 8 points per game and has consistently been one of the better defenders in the league. If he wasn't on the stat Clippers team, then maybe he would have better stats, but who knows. At number 18 on the Indiana Pacers, I have Malcolm Brogdon. After leaving the Bucks and going to the Pacers for a larger role, Malcolm Brogdon has had one of the, if not the best seasons of his career, averaging 16.3 points and 7.1 assists, which is a career high by a long shot. Brogdon has also been a pretty decent defender throughout his career, but not having one of his best defensive years. At number 17, I have the Charlotte Hornets with Devontae Graham. In his second year of his career, Devontae Graham has had a breakout season, which is of course to be expected, but he's had a crazy jump in stats from last year, averaging 18 points, 1 steal, and 7.5 assists per game, much due to the absence of Kemba Walker. At number 16, I have the Phoenix Suns with Ricky Rubio. Ricky Rubio's always been an elite passer and a good scorer, but this season he's been averaging a career high in points with 13.1 points per game and second highest in assists per game with 9 assists, while still averaging 1.5 steals per game. At number 15, I have the Denver Nuggets with Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray has never been a very good passer, but he has been a very good scorer in this season, averaging 18.8 points per game while shooting a high field goal percentage. Jamal Murray may average more assists per game if the number one passing option on their team wasn't their starting center, but I digress. At number 14, I have the Milwaukee Bucks with Eric Bledsoe. Bledsoe is the third option on the Bucks behind last year's MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo and All-Star Chris Middleton. He's averaging 15.4 points per game along with 5.4 assists and 1 steal. On paper, Bledsoe may not look as good as the players that he's ranked ahead of, but due to the fact that he's the third option on the best team in the league, I had to rank him this high. At number 13, I have the Detroit Pistons with Derrick Rose. After suffering an ACL injury shortly after winning the MVP award, Derrick Rose has been in a pretty big slump, but in these last 2 seasons, he's been showing glimpses of the player that he once was, averaging 18.1 points per game and 5.6 assists. At number 12, I have the Brooklyn Nets with Spencer Dinwiddie. After Kyrie Irving went through a season-ending surgery, Spencer Dinwiddie has stepped up to the starting role in the Nets and has capitalized on that opportunity, averaging 20.6 points per game and 20.6 points per game and 6.8 assists, which are both career highs for him, not to mention the fact that after Dinwiddie became a starter, the Nets have been playing better than when Kyrie was starting. At number 11, I have the Sacramento Kings with De'Aaron Fox. At only 22 years old, he's been averaging 20.4 points per game, 1.4 steals, and 6.8 assists, and is only improving every year. Being one of the, if not the fastest players in the league, De'Aaron can score on the low post while still shooting a high three-point percentage. At number 10, I have the Memphis Grizzlies with Ja Morant. In just his first season, Ja Morant has been one of the most impressive players in the league. He's averaging 17.6 points per game, 7 assists, and 1 steal, but not only that, he's been a big part in the Grizzlies' success, getting them to the 8th seed in the West. At number 9, I have the Toronto Raptors with Kyle Lowry. After Finals MVP Kawhi Leonard left Toronto, many people didn't see the Raptors as a realistic contender for the Finals, but they've proven themselves that they most certainly are, and that is largely due to Kyle Lowry's success. He's been averaging 19.7 points per game, 7.7 assists, and 1.3 steals. His performance this season has helped the Raptors battle the way to the 2nd seed in the East. At number 8, I have the Minnesota Timberwolves with D'Angelo Russell. After getting traded to the Timberwolves and teaming up with his homie Karl-Anthony Towns, D'Lo's been has been having one of the best seasons of his career, averaging 23.6 points per game, 23.6 points per game, 6.6 assists, and 1.4 steals. I have high hope for the Timberwolves for next season, but we'll see how it plays out. By the way, I do apologize for misspeaking a lot here. I've been working on this for like 9 hours, and my brain is currently fried. But anyway, at number 7, I have the Atlanta Hawks with Trae Young. Trae Young is in his 2nd season, but he's been playing at an elite level, putting up 29.6 points per game and 29.6 points per game and 9.3 assists. Bro, I cannot read right now. But considering the fact that his team is that he's on one of the worst teams in the league, I couldn't rank him any higher. Jesus. At number 6, I have the Boston Celtics with Kemba Walker. In Kemba's first season, where he isn't playing on the garbage Hornets, he's led his team to the 3rd seed in the East while averaging 21.2 points per game and 5 assists per game and 1 steal. On paper, he may not look as good as the other players on this list, but his impact on the Celtics has been far too good for me not having him this high. At number 5, I have the Oklahoma City Thunder with Chris Paul. After losing Russell Westbrook and Paul George in the offseason, people started counting the Thunder out of the playoffs, but Chris Paul has led the Thunder to a 5th seed in the West, averaging 17.7 points per game, 6.8 assists, and 1.6 steals. Much like Kemba Walker, CP3's impact is a big factor in his high ranking. At number 4, I have the Philadelphia 76ers with Ben Simmons. 6'10" Ben Simmons is the tallest point guard of all time, beating out Magic by 1 inch, but he's playing at that position for a reason. Ben Simmons is one of the most elite passers in the league, averaging 8.2 assists while still being able to average 16.7 points, 7.8 rebounds, and is leading the league in steals per game with 2.1. At number 3, I have Russell Westbrook. For the Houston Rockets. This season, Russ has been one of the best all-around players, averaging 27.5 points per game, 7 assists, and 8 rebounds. He's also been very efficient on the defensive end, averaging 1.7 steals per game, all while being on the same team as James Harden. At number 2, I have the Portland Trail Blazers with Damian Lillard. Not only has Dame been playing at an elite level all season, averaging 29 points per game and 7.8 assists, but he's also finished the league season as quite possibly the best player in the league because of his dominant showings every night for about the last month of the season. And at number 1, I have the Dallas Mavericks with Luka Doncic. Much like Russell Westbrook, Luka has been one of the best all-around players in the league, but Luka's been doing it at a much higher level, averaging 28.7 points per game, 8.7 assists, and 9.3 rebounds, and 1.1 steals in just his second season in the league. Man, that was really sloppy, but anyway, I appreciate you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, I would appreciate it if you considered liking and subscribing. If there's anything you would change about this list, please let me know in the comments. That's going to do it for today. Thank you for watching and have a great day. Bye.